All right, hello. Um, this is my first ever uh drawing vlog. Oh my gosh, the focus is not focusing. There we go. That should do it. Okay. Um, so yeah, you're just gonna watch me draw. Um, the YouTuber Zero Wolf started doing these recently, and they looked fun, and I enjoy his videos. So I'm going to try making my own. Um, I'm just going to do a line gesture drawing of a figure. I'm doing this image from somewhere. I actually don't know where it's from. I just found it on Pinterest. All right, well, let's start. I'm just going to start by kind of figuring out where I want her head to start, where I want her feet to end. Um, I'm taking a life drawing class, which means that I. So my professor, he taught me the like eight-headed figure method. I shouldn't be starting with this. I'm starting with the head. I should be starting with the line of action. Um, the eight-headed figure method, which I do use in class, and like you measure out like in inches, like with your paper. That's not the angle of her body at all. Um, you measure out on your piece of paper, um, like eight heads, and it's like a certain amount of inches. But and I do that for class, but in my own personal work, I kind of like just kind of vibing it out because I want the kind of eight-headed method to eventually become like kind of muscle memory, and like to just be able to like just through vibes like figure it out, because like my professor can like he can like get out like an eight-headed figure line like gesture drawing super quickly, like without even measuring, and like I know that the only difference between like what he can do and what I can do is just like time and effort. And that's kind of like related to why I'm doing this in the first place. It's like there are a lot of things that I've wanted to do. Like I've been interested in content creation like kind of for a pretty long time. At least 10-ish years now. But like for a lot of it I've just been kind of too afraid to do it. Um like afraid of like looking bad. But like recently I just kind of got tired of always holding myself back based on what I was just like scared of, and like part of it was like I never wanted to look bad on the internet. Um, Not even for like any harassment reasons. I just wanted it to be good immediately, and like I could spend years of my life practicing art um, until I was happy with it, until I was like at a professional level or whatever. Um, but like that's gonna take a long time, and I can just start now and get to that level while you know not being at that level, like just like while making videos and stuff. Because like I have a lot of thoughts. I think about a lot of things, like most people. But now I have the Rhett and Link song stuck in my head. I'm a thoughtful guy. I think a lot of thoughts about a lot of things. But anyway, um, and typically I just bother my friends and family with these thoughts. But I thought, if I make content online, then is that the angle? No, her like it's more straight, I think. Um, but if I make videos, then I can just have these things recorded in perpetuity online, and I don't have to find people that I think would care about my thoughts. I can just have them online. Um, and yeah, like this is just me kind of trying to figure out art and doing something that honestly scares me. It scares me a lot. I was like feeling really nervous, like as I was hitting the record button. I just had to check to make sure that I was recording because I would have been really embarrassed if I like wasn't recording the whole time. Um, what is her torso doing? Um, I think I know what I'm doing. Uh, but yeah, like doing things that scares you is obviously scary. Um, but it's I've in a lot of ways in my life I've just kind of been fed up with being too scared of doing things to do things that I want to do. Um, so that's why I'm doing this. Like I am, you know, I for a long time I've like kind of felt like a lot of imposter syndrome with my art, and um, one of the funny things about imposter syndrome is that like you are all like, even if you've heard of imposter syndrome and you know what it is and how it works, you're like, well, yeah, but like I'm like actually an imposter. And that's, that's the difficulty about it. I think that I need to make this leg shorter. Yeah, this leg should be much shorter. Um, so this is the kind of thing that the eight-headed model method automatically accounts for, because everything would kind of automatically fit. Um, really hope that the scribbling and the like pencil or whatever isn't like an annoying sound. Why did I pump out so much graphite? Um, what was I saying? Right, but like doing scary things. Um, uh, it's like, I'm just like I'm tired of like not doing the things that I want to do. Her leg is way more angled than that. And so like this is another thing. I last year started writing a book, and that came from me being like, I have all these story ideas. Like I have a lot of story ideas that I think are like kind of good, but like I never make anything from them. And like they're all like just exclusively in my head. And like I don't like that. Like I want to make things. But at the time I just wasn't I just didn't believe enough in my art to make anything. But like I know that I can write words. Like I know how to write words. I'm not that good at it. In the form of like I misspell things like all the time. Um, but like I know how to type words. Um, and I was like, okay, I'm going to write a book, and I did. I've finished. That leg is too short. I think both the legs are too short. Um, I finished the first draft of my um, novel, which will be which I will be self-publishing on Kindle next year. This looks bad, but I can make it look not awful as I go. Um, Feet are so hard to draw. Um, that's why, like, actual famous comics artist Rob Liefeld would frequently not draw feet. Because like I always have trouble with like capturing like the angles of feet. Okay, this leg is like too thick. It needs to be thinner. Um, uh, so like yeah, it's this is a new endeavor. Um, I hope that I do good with it. All right. Okay. I think we're back. Um, so there's a bit of an odd cut there, because I didn't know that your phone's. I was using my phone's regular camera app, and I didn't know that that just cuts out after a certain point. Um, so I, so I believe I'll be able to stitch together this footage and the previous footage. But that's I think a great, funny enough, I think that's a great example of what's going on. Of like, I'm still gonna upload this, even though it's gonna have a weird cut, because I'm just like, this is like literally this series is me like learning how to make video. Oh, there goes my graphite. Learning how to make video, learning how to do things. Okay, there we go. And this is somewhat vulnerable, but there's kind of some solace in that, like, very few people are going to be watching this, probably only like friends and maybe family or something. um and probably by the time I have enough people watching this, I would be better at this, because like this isn't out to millions of people. Like technically I am like showing this to the entire world, but like the entire world isn't going to watch this. So I'm really only sharing this with people that basically already know me. um but yeah, so like if you like have anything that you want to do that like you're scared of, but like you have like the resources to do it, um like I like do it, like like Shia LaBeouf or Nike, just do it. And it's like, it's strangely like kind of liberating, like realizing like, oh yeah, you can just like do the thing. Like I understand if you don't have the resources to do the thing, but I would ask, like what actually are the resources necessary? Like I don't have a fancy camera, I don't have fancy art supplies. All I have is like, I have a pencil, I have my phone. um I like, if I become like any level of popular or whatever online, then you know I might be able to monetize stuff, and then I can get fancier things. But like, starting out, like, just like start out cheaply. You wanna make a comic book? Try it now. Wanna make a cartoon? Try it now. Like, you know, something that um allows me to stay motivated is just telling myself like, this doesn't have to be my magnum opus. Like, this doesn't have to be the greatest thing that I ever make. There is a story I've had in mind for a long time that I want to make one day, but I want to make it like a cartoon. And I don't have the resources really to do that right now. Like, at least a cartoon that looks like professional, like you'd see on like TV or something. Um, Now, I could take my own advice and just start now, which maybe I probably should. But I also am kind of a proponent of like, you can start doing similar things, um, uh, with the resources you have. So like for me, one thing is like, when it came to writing my book, like I took a story idea that I didn't really care much about, that I had recently, or recently at the time, it was a year ago. It feels kind of crazy that I started writing the book a year ago. Like, a year has already passed. Um, but like, so at the time, it was like a new idea that I didn't really care much about. So it allowed my like perfectionism to kind of go away. And I think that's like one of the most important things, is just like not letting perfectionism like win and like get in the way. It's a terrible head shape. Uh, it's hard to figure out her head shape because they're like hair. But like, one also thing is like, once I like put in the head shape doesn't actually matter as much. I don't know. Maybe an artist shouldn't be saying that, but I'm not a professional. I hope that notification didn't register with the volume. I forgot to turn off my notifications. I don't feel like setting up the camera again. I just hope I don't get too many. Her body is too wide. Not the model herself. My drawing of her. You probably understood that, but just making sure. And like, yeah, like I understand, like, and like, I don't want anyone to feel bad for like not following their dreams, or like I'm criticizing them, because like I totally understand. Following your dreams is hard and scary, and like it's easy to just like stay where you are and where you're comfortable. But I personally, I just got sick of that. I want to do things. I want to, you know, like I want to make things happen. And also like that, like you kind of can't like get anywhere doing nothing. Um, so like at the very least, if you're going to hold yourself back from doing the thing you want to do, like make sure that you're spending your time like practicing it. Like you're practicing writing or drawing, or I am so focused on the creative field, but like that's kind of the only field I know. Her forearm is much longer. I think her body is a lot thinner. Like I made the hips and the shoulders too wide. It's like her arm should be going like maybe like out to like here or something, and then her hand is going like here. I might trace over this after this to like see how this looks. Um uh was it right? So like it's hard and it's scary, and like I'm focused on the creative field because like that's the only field I really know, because I'm like that's the only thing I really consider myself all that good at, is like doing stuff like creatively and like in the humanities and arts. Um but that leg is way too thin. Uh Also, I think she's shorter. I think that's also a problem. It's like these legs need to look longer, but I think if I just make her body shorter, I think that should work. But also, that's a lot of erasing that I really don't want to do. But, um, yeah, it's yeah. So maybe her hand does go over here, and then, but like everything should be shorter. I kind of don't. I'm kind of like in the sunk cost fallacy, because like I spent a lot of time on this. I don't want to go back. But to quote Drawfee, delete your art. Um, so like, just like this isn't working. I need to make the whole body just a bit shorter. Because I think everything below the waist is fine. But I just need to make the whole body a bit shorter. And doing stuff like this shouldn't scare you, right? Like, I just got rid of everything. And it's like, you could see it as a setback, but if you didn't get rid of everything, then the final product wouldn't have been good in the first place. So it's actually just, it's not a setback, it's a step forward, because you were essentially going in the wrong direction, right? Like, it's like making a U-turn when you're going the wrong direction while you're driving. It's like, you could see it as like you're going backwards, but you're not actually going backwards. You're going forwards to the place where you're supposed to go. So, and then I probably should have cited this, which is like how artists make sure everything looks right. But this is just vibes. We're just vibing this out. I have a really hard time going with trying to do direct horizontal lines. It's like they're always like looking like okay. Um that was kind of a frustrating cut for me. So I don't know how to record for long amounts of time on a phone. I assume that it's possible, but I just don't know how. Um, I thought that was like maybe a situation with my camera app, but then I switched to just like to the CapCut app, which I've used somewhat before. Um, but yeah, so I can only like record these in like it seems like 10 or 20-minute chunks. Um, if anyone knows how I can make longer recordings, sound off in the comments. Or like you can DM me or something. Because I think basically everyone that is going to watch this video is going to know me personally. But like, engagement, like, like tell me about it in the comments. Um, Boost me in the algorithm. Uh, and I kind of wanted to give up because honestly, this is pretty frustrating. Um, but this is all still within the theme of the video itself. Like I don't know what I'm doing. Like I know that there's probably a way for me to do this. I just need to do more research. But I don't feel like doing that research right now. Right now, I'm just like I want to finish this drawing. And if I have to like do this over like 5 different recordings, which that genuinely might be how many it'll take. I'll do it. Um, I was talking about the last thing I said was like talking about how difficult I have a time with horizontal lines, but one of the things is like you can just move the like the paper, um, and then I just directly did a pretty decent horizontal line. That's really funny. Um, but yeah, like just figuring stuff out. I don't know. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. So I don't really plan on editing these much. Um, so but I think I might like add images. Like I certainly like at the start of the video I said this model, and I'll just at the very least include the image of the model. Um, uh, but like yeah, I don't know if I want to edit things too heavily. Um, it would be funny to not edit this video at all, and the only cuts are directly unintentional from the video cutting out. I can like I'm recording this on my phone, and my phone is like just to the left of me. So like I'm glad that I was able to see um that that the video cut out, because like I could have like gone for a while without knowing that the video was cut out. Um, and that would have really soured my apples. Um, I think it's interesting those terms, like sours my apples, gets my goat, or just different ways of saying makes me angry. Like we like humans, we love to use like metaphor for like everything. And it's like, is it technically unnecessary to use metaphor? Yes, but like it's more fun. Like it's more fun to say like gets my goat than just to say like makes me mad. Um, and like yeah, it's just this interesting part of communication. There's actually a history behind gets my goat, because goats were used in horse racing. I found out about this in a salmonella video. Like a lot of the fun facts I know, but like basically goats would be used to calm down the horses, for the horse racing. Um, so precocious youngsters would steal goats for fun, um, and that would obviously make the horse owner mad. So those kids really get your goat. I believe that's true. I don't want to spread misinformation though, so maybe before you quote me on that, like Google it. Um, yeah, I might like speed up some of this footage or like cut it because like I need to think of like interesting things to say because I don't want to be because well, one thing is this is just kind of stream of consciousness, um, and like when Zero Wolf does it, I like it, but I don't know. Obviously, I'm going to have a hard time enjoying it for me. Um, and which actually kind of reminds me of something that he was talking about in one of his videos, um, of like that, like when you when you do stuff like creatively, um, like you shouldn't try and like do stuff to. Well, he was talking about like people trying to mimic the weird styles or the um, interesting styles of other people, um, and how like you might find it really intriguing the style of this other person, but if you're just copying it just to be simply intriguing, then like it's gonna end up kind of feeling like empty. Um, so you just gotta kind of believe in yourself and do what you want to do. Um, I'll like link his channel in the description because I think he makes a lot of interesting videos. Um, uh, and like I really find that interesting. You know, I find it interesting like originality and like I I do sometimes worry about like is my own creative work. Oh, that is looking much better. Is my own creative work original enough? Although like a lot of the stuff that I make is like that I come up with is like pretty weird or kind of like out there. Um, so like probably a lot of stuff will like at least come off as original, even if all I can see is the like inspirations behind what I make. Um, that's not what her knee looks like even a little. It's what a knee looks like, but it's not what her knee looks like. Um, and that's the thing about art is you have to draw what you're seeing, not like what you think is there, because what you think is there probably isn't there, and what you're seeing is definitely there because that's what you're seeing. Then you take a step back, and you look at what you've done, you assess it, and like handling the shapes of like legs is really hard. I think I'm just going to go more for a straight line. Because like her leg is way more angled than I'm giving it credit for. It's like side view up here, and then it's like 3/4 view down here, and like that's hard to figure out. Oh, also her this foot should be higher up because it's higher up on the picture plane. That's an issue that I run into all the time. Is like remembering that like when a foot is like further in the background, it should be like further up. Like there's like distance between the edge of her feet, so like her foot like stops like kind of like right here ish. So then like and it goes out like that. I really hope that this is at least somewhat interesting or entertaining. But if at any point you stopped being interested in this, you should just stop watching because why keep watching something you're not enjoying? That leads me to another interesting thing about me and my media. Yeah, my media diet. Uh, it's kind of a situation where like I was talking to this one person this one time about like shows, and I was like, he was like, "Oh, I've watched these anime," and I was like, "Oh, I watched like, oh, I watched an episode of that like a long time ago," and like, you know, I've watched the first few episodes of this, and I was like, "Oh, like, do you ever like finish shows?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, sometimes, but like, I, sometimes I just stop watching shows." And he was like, and I think one interesting thing was like, when do you stop watching a show? Because like for me, it's kind of a situation of like I'll keep watching a TV show as long as I'm interested. Um, because if it stops being interesting, I just kind of stop. Um, which isn't even necessarily about quality. It's just about like whether or not it feels like it's like stimulating at all. And like he was like, no, you should give it like at least like I think he said like something like 8 episodes, which seems like a crazy amount to me. But like I'm just like I don't know, like I can't watch everything, and I have to like decide on what shows that I'm interested in. And for me, it's like a show kind of just has until I stop wanting to watch. Like if I don't feel like watching the show 5 minutes into the pilot, I'll just stop. So now I'm gonna draw her clothes, and like I kind of understand his vibe of like trying to like of like wanting to give things a chance. Her belly button is way higher. Um, like trying to give things a chance. Um, but like personally, I'm just like I don't know, like there's only so much time I have, and I only want to use it for stuff that's like interesting. Maybe it's like like how like short attention spans, or the fact that I have ADHD, which I do. I do have ADHD. Um, but like I'm just like I don't know. I don't want to. I don't feel like wasting my time. And if I feel like a show's a waste of my time, then I don't want to watch it. Um, and maybe I should, be open to doing more things. Because like he asked me like, oh, have you ever like started watching a show and like you weren't sure about it, or like you weren't really feeling it, but then you stuck around and like you like actually really enjoyed it? And I said no, because like I don't do that, because like the when I stop being interested in a show, I just kind of stop. um but like I don't know, I feel like it's not that crazy of an idea to just say like, well, like I didn't find it interesting. I didn't think it was adding anything to my life, so I stopped because I wasn't having fun. And for me, like entertainment is about having fun. There are some things that I've checked out, not out of like just regular enjoyment. I think this plus is coming together much better. Um, but like I like watch them to do research for like things that I want to make. Like if like I want to understand a genre that I am thinking about making a story in, then like I might like check things out, and that might push me to be more interested in them than I otherwise would be. But like if I'm just watching a show for fun and like I'm not enjoying it, I'm just gonna stop um, the moment that I don't feel like watching it anymore. Um, and honestly, like most of the shows that I only watch a little bit of and then stop watching, it wasn't like I specifically decided like I'm done watching this show. It was just like I was like, okay, I watched a few episodes. Like I watched 7 episodes. I'm gonna come back to this, and I just never do. Um, like there's this show, Opera Ranman. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's an anime. And it's like it seems like kind of like anime wacky races. If you don't know if you don't know what wacky races is, just Google it. Um, but it looked interesting. and I watched the first few episodes and they were fun. But like I never got back to it. And now I don't have Crunchyroll anymore. So okay, so now we're gonna move into shading because this is good enough. And for shading, I like to use this larger pencil because like it's easier to get like it's quicker to get like shapes out on it. Probably starting too dark, but um uh and like like the show look like certain shows like look interesting, but like I just never come back. Like I will have like the full intent to come back at some point and then I just don't. um and like it's like I think it's normal to just like be like, well, you like this is entertainment, entertain me. You're not entertaining me, get out of here. um Maybe I shouldn't have that perspective, but like it's the perspective I have. um yeah. I might cut this bit because I don't know what to say. um oh, maybe I should color in her body, or not her body but like her, like our underwear. This is probably from like an underwear modeling thing or something. I don't know. I just found this image on Pinterest, which I think I said earlier. I keep like looking back over at my phone to like check that it's still recording, because once it stops recording, I have to start recording again. Let's see. Anything else to talk about? My life drawing class is going all right. Um, I feel like my artistic abilities have really stepped up ever since I took the class. Um, Drawing the human form is really interesting, and it's kind of the thing of like, the human body and like the human face and stuff like that is like, it's so hard to draw because humans are like, we're really good at recognizing other humans, and because it's like the most important thing that we do. So it's like in our nature to recognize humans. I'm making the straps of her bra a lot larger, but that's just because I think it looks better. um so like as humans, like we are trained to focus on things and like assess like whether or not something is a human like us. um I think also part of it might be like kind of figuring out like, oh, is that a human that has something wrong with them, or whatever, to like, you know try and make sure like, checking if someone's diseased or something. um and like, since we are so naturally focused um on like recognizing humans, that means that like when something looks human but not human, it looks like a wrong human, and then it looks kind of like weird or off. Really, I still don't like the feet. I still don't like the feet. The feet look wrong. The heels aren't high enough. Like that's like it should be like woo. Um, I I don't know how to draw this. After a certain point, I am just gonna say like, screw it, and then say like that's done. I think I might be at that point of just being like, screw it, this looks fine. Because like, you can't stay in the same thing forever. But yeah, like humans, we look for things that look like humans. So that's why it's so hard to draw people and have it look right, because we're so trained on how to like find things that like look like humans. I'm just like kind of concerned that this is like the most boring video to ever be posted on the internet. But, that's how this goes. It's the trying the new thing. So please, if you're watching this video, go. There's something new to do. Go do it. Um, just you just gotta believe in yourself. Um, and if you don't believe in yourself, believe in the me that believes in you. I don't know what that's a quote from, but it's a quote from something. The heel should be higher. Okay. And now I can say screw it and it's done. Oh, art is hard, but it is also very rewarding, and it's also what I want to do with my life. Um, if you're watching this, please post. If you're watching this and you're an artist, please post what you drew. Maybe you could draw this figure as well and show me what it's actually supposed to look like. I'd really love to see that. Maybe you could do hashtag jams drawings, or you could like, I have an Instagram. You could post your drawing on Instagram and tag me, or put in hashtag jams drawings. I'll have the text appear on screen, so you can follow me on Instagram at jams drawings. It's like spelled phonetically. Or I can write Instagram at jams drawings, so you can post, you can tag me, and I'd love to see if you did this figure or just did another drawing. And I'd love to see that, because I love seeing other people's creativity. If you want to give me pointers as to how I can make my art look better, that's always fun, because I am literally an art student. I'm an art major at El Camino College. But also, like, I love learning. I love growing. And learning and growing as an artist is super important. All right, I think that's basically this figure done. I'm just gonna add some shading onto her legs. That foot is not finished, but I honestly am kind of done. And I've been rambling for so long, and I've had to like reset up so many times that I'm just kind of done. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed. I plan on doing these regularly, hopefully maybe weekly, we'll see. But yeah, thank you for watching.